9 a.m. is the time from our studio clock. Good morning. Welcome to the Star Good Morning Show. It's Friday, the official start of the weekend, and this is the final edition of the Star Good Morning Show for this week. I am Leonela Jawara, and our inspirational quote for today comes from Margaret Mead. She says, "We won't have a society if we destroy the environment." Top stories we shall be looking in the program today. The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Kalia Sese, has updated media practitioners and journalists regarding the emerging trend of political infraction in the country and called on the citizenry to have a corporate response from the Sierra Leone police rather than escorted information. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the 34 Military Hospital, as part of the drive to enhance infection prevention and control measures within the health facilities, has launched the alcoholic-based hand rub project. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Jodejalo, during a stakeholders meeting held in Podloko District, said that the chairman and leader of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, Dr. Anesbai Kuruma, is refusing to accept results of the 2018 presidential elections. All these and more coming up shortly. Now, the European Union, the British High Commission, and its partners will be undertaking an exercise dubbed Sierra Leone Beach Cleanup 2019 in commemoration of the World Oceans Day, slated for the 8th of June this year. To discuss more on that, I have with me the Alistair White, Deputy British High Commissioner. Good morning, Alistair.
Good morning.
All right, also with me is Jamila El Asaidi, Head of Political and Information Sector, European Union in Sierra Leone. Good morning, Jamila.
Good morning.
I hope I got your name correct.
Absolutely.
All right. Also is Bashiru Kuruma, Planning and Development Officer, National Tourist Board, Sierra Leone. Good morning, Bashiru.
Good
Welcome.
morning. Good morning.
All right, I shall be back with you guys shortly. Remember, the Star Good Morning Show is sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank. But first, let's have a message from our sponsors.
Give me money.
Want money?
Give me
Okay, I'm not saying open up. Bag in my house.
Can't give me money. Ah, what's kind of bad stick this back? What's enough for putting money again? You never play card taker. Why for the shaft me bad safe? Auntie Jojo.
Mama, how you doing?
Ah, thank you. I don't come on a bank. What you make you face this one?
That's all that man. Hey, Gapi can't take me money, don't go. But why don't tell her say they can't give me money if it's a joke?
Hey, Auntie Jo. All the way me can at this society meet. If man take your money loss. You know don't hear about financial inclusion. Where Rokel Commercial Bank they make everybody, no matter how it's done, no matter the kind of business way they do.
Financial waiting.
Inclusion.
That for all man.
Any item, you not cripple in the bank. You not cripple for bank. Because not for the today, for we tomorrow one. And now they don't make it easy for we. They don't open in different way. Then we go make you back not go feel bad about your banking system at all. Then get keke account.
You look one confused me small. Then keke rider there. Wait, say that they open accounts for them. Wait. Where they want to ride bike? Then to man they don't more lanky driver they all.
Yes.
They only open accounts for them.
Yes. Sometimes you want buy keke, you go and ride for party forever. You dey go put that small thing. Come up a keke account. They get the other account so they call Comra account. That for we then Comra them.
For we?
Yes. We then Comra them. So tell you picky don't put on school. That knows give they help we let my people go. When you reach now for go college, you not get money. Yeah. But that account will be the open for I can just go and take you pay school fee.
When they talk about this Comra business, the Comra account where they go open. Well, you were not born now.
You dey still open accounts. Comra account, then give back that mandate where you open them. Where you born to man, the pikin they can run back through that account day. So they don't make it and now they don't open branch now bonds. Imagine how far did they go now. Therefore make things easy for me and you too.
A better way can tell me, oh, hey, Sergeant Tenki, that me sister, the way we in picking the thief money, the way they destroy that one day. And they go mad, they go tell her.
Rokel Commercial Bank, I may make it easy. They say tell you paddy, may go tell him paddy.
And they go tell her.
What you tell you so go you explain her. Life is easy.
Rokel Commercial Bank, bank with Rokel Commercial Bank, number one, bank with Rokel.
You watching us live here on Star TV channel 21 and through our Facebook page at Star TV Live. Well, let's begin the show with our first news item for today. The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Kali Asisi, has updated media practitioners and journalists regarding the emerging trend of political infraction in the country and called on the citizenry to have a corporate response from the Sierra Leone police rather than a scattered information. Let's have more in this report.
On Friday, after the court verdict, they went to their headquarters. Police closely monitored because they were singing, jumping here and there. So, as usual, police deployed around, monitoring what they were doing. After a while, they made roadblocks. They started setting fire on the tires. So the vehicular traffic was cut off. Pedestrians were actually stopped and frightened from moving towards the direction. And so those that are very sincere, we agree that they started throwing stones, missiles at the police. And so after doing all that, they rushed into their headquarters. You see, as they were throwing stones, that means they have become violent. A peaceful demonstration, we actually monitor it. But when it becomes violent, it becomes a public order issue. And so we come in to maintain law and order. So as they were throwing stones, resulting in the injuries of 6 of our officers, 2 very serious. Police responded, allowed them to go. We went through the screening. We were able to release up to 36. Let me also inform this body that something strange has started to occur. They were not only throwing missiles, but they too were throwing tear gas canisters against police officers from that headquarters. I think we now appreciate why police officers decided actually to engage them there. Their violent tendencies actually led to, as I informed you much earlier, that 6 officers were injured, 2 very serious. They were issued medical report forms. They went to hospital. So we brought those who were arrested. We have charged 75. Out of the 117, we have released 36. And these statements were obtained from the 6 individuals I've mentioned. But, sorry, they were granted bail. They are supposed to report today, and they will eventually be charged to court and profiled.
And upon their arrival at the scene, ASP Augustine Kabia informed me that there are a series of barricades at Old Railway Line which they need to remove so that they can allow peaceful citizens to go about their normal activities. So I also admonished him to engage the ringleader or those that are actually matured among the protesters so that they can see reason to negotiate and to stop such acts and channel their matters or concerns to the appropriate authorities. Indeed, they comply to that, to dialogue with the people, even though they fail to adhere. They continue making barricades, burning of tires. I believe the representative of the police media that was there was able to actually televise the scene where they were pelting stones at the police, and even the CS gas they fired against the police. The interesting thing to unfold to this panel this afternoon that the CS gas they use against the police is far different than the one we are using, and which was submitted to the Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation.
Okay, welcome back, and this is the Star Good Morning Show. Now, let me come to my studio guest, as the European Union will be having Sierra Leone Beach Cleanup 2019, which will be coming up shortly. I have with me, like I earlier said, Jamila El Asaidi, Head of Political and Information Sector, European Union in Sierra Leone, also the British Deputy High Commissioner, Alistair White, and Bashiru Kuruma, Planning and Development Officer, National Tourist Board, Sierra Leone. I'll begin with Jamila. Jamila, good morning again.
Good morning.
First, what is the role of the European Union delegation to Sierra Leone?
So the European Union delegation is a diplomatic mission representing the EU's values and programs and activities in Sierra Leone as part of the international community.
Okay. Now, the EU delegation to Sierra Leone, which can say is one of our country's key development partners. Now we see your intervention in addressing national global environmental challenges. Is this part of your mandate?
Absolutely. The EU promotes really a very ambitious action plan in terms of environmental and climate change actions. The Beach Clean event that will happen on Saturday is part of our Climate Diplomacy Week, which is being organized by all the European Union delegations throughout the world, and it will coincide with the EU special day where we commemorate World Oceans Day.
All right, okay. Talking about the World Oceans Day, so many people don't know the significance of this day. What can you say?
So World Oceans Day is a day that was decided by the UN to be a day where we give special attention to the impact of human actions on the oceans, to raise awareness, public awareness on the negative impact of, for example, throwing plastics in the sea. It's also an opportunity to have concrete action, cleaning the beach, and last but not least, mobilize political will and resources to tackle environmental issues related to the ocean.
Okay, let me continue to stay with me, Jamila. Let me bring in Alistair White. Alistair, good morning again.
Good.
Now, you've heard Jamila. How important is this beach cleanup event for Sierra Leone?
I think it's really important because, as Jamila said, the importance of oceans and environmental policy to sort of the strong economic partnership between the UK, the European Union, and Sierra Leone is really there. The importance of clean oceans, tourism, and the beaches which sustain livelihoods for Sierra Leoneans is a really important issue for us. And whilst our beach clean will be just one day, we'll work hard. We'll try and clean as much as we can. But hopefully it'll leave sort of lasting legacy, can show that what can be done, show that we as the international community, working in partnership with our Sierra Leone colleagues, really put great importance on this. So yeah, very much looking forward to it.
Someone watching you now might want to know why the interest in beach cleanup.
Well, I think it's, so you have seen sort of plastic pollution in the oceans. It's a global problem. So anything we can do to sort of address that and raise awareness, and the beach cleanup is something which we can, absolutely do. We can get some publicity. We have some great guests of honour from the Sierra Leone government and authorities there to be with us too. So I think it's just a real awareness raising activity. Hopefully something we can do every year and keep reminding people of the importance of keeping our oceans and beaches clean.
I see Jamila nodding her head.
Yes, I can only confirm how important it is to seize any opportunity to raise awareness on this extremely important problem. I mean, just to quote one figure, yearly 13 million tons of plastic end up in the oceans all over the world, and I think that's something that we need to think of. One of the issues that we try to tackle, particularly within the EU, is the single use of plastic, because whatever cannot be recycled ends up in the sea, and either remains there forever, and even if it gets degraded, it ends up becoming small plastic particles which are ingested by the fish and then end up in the food chain. So we really need to be aware of that. Alistair also mentioned tourism. Tourism is of course a very important objective also in Sierra Leone. Tourism and also the ocean as an important source of food for the country.
So the plastic pollution, it's a global challenge. How challenging do you see that for Sierra Leone?
So, as I say, it's a global challenge, and it's really every single country has to contribute, because waste which is generated in Europe can end up in Africa, Africa can end up in Asia. So it's a global problem where we have to all work together. In Sierra Leone, so I think I saw a statistic yesterday, it's 100 million pieces of plastic enters the food chain in the sea, and this is a country where food from the sea, seafood is incredibly important and makes a big part of people's diets and their livelihoods. So actually making sure that we can keep the oceans here and the beaches as clean as possible, I think is a really important issue for Sierra Leone. And tourism. These beaches are stunning, and it's one of the most beautiful beaches I've seen, and so yes, the more we can do to sort of encourage tourism here.
Okay, let me bring in Bashiru Kurma, Planning and Development Officer, National Tourist Board, Sierra Leone. Now, Bashiru, like you've heard Alistair saying beaches are beautiful, which is true. We have the beautiful beaches, one of the beautiful beaches in Sierra Leone. You've been part of the National Tourist Board, and now we're seeing the EU and the British High Commission are coming together to help clean our beaches. What have you been doing as the Tourist Board in helping that our beaches preserve its value?
Yeah, part of the mandate of the National Tourism Board is to develop and implement the policies, tourism policies and strategies, and also to promote Sierra Leone as a best tourism attraction nationally and internationally. So now, knowing that our beaches are the prime tourism attractions, together with our wildlife and our biodiversity, so the National Tourism Board is responsible for the management of the coastal beaches, and we are constantly involved in the cleaning of these areas in collaboration with different stakeholders. And that is even why the European Union delegation and the British Council want to collaborate with us, because they see us as a partner, because we have always been doing it. As we are talking now, we have our beachcombers currently deployed at the beach that are currently gathering and collecting the waste. That is our constant work.
You've always been cleaning the beaches. You're doing events like this, do you mean?
Yeah, event like this, and that is our normal work. That's our normal routine. It is the responsibility, it is the mandate of the National Tourism Board to ensure that all tourism attractions are being protected, and the beach is our prime tourism attraction in the country. So now the beach is our responsibility, cleaning of the beach, and to ensure that it is always very serene and beautiful.
Okay, is there any regulation put in place to ensure that you check people who are going to the beach not to throw plastic or not to get the beach littered with filth?
Yes, definitely. We have several regulations that deal with waste management. In general, the Freetown City Council is the one responsible for the waste management of Freetown. But when you come to specific tourism attraction areas, so we have regulations as to how you should manage your waste in waste management, because it is key. If you do not manage your waste properly, your environment will not be good for tourism.
Jamila, you okay? Let me bring in Jamila again. Now, organizing beach cleanup, is this a global thing for the EU?
Yes, as I was mentioning before, all European Union delegations across the world join in during Climate Diplomacy Week to raise visibility on issues that need to be tackled. And the cleaning of the beaches is one of them.
Lista, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, just so from the British High Commission and British government's point of view, so our embassies and our high commissions around the world will be organising events to mark World Oceans Day tomorrow. So we have done before and will be doing in different countries around the world. I think it's important to say that tomorrow is an event really to sort of raise awareness of World Oceans Day, and we really do value our partnerships of the with our Sierra Leone authorities and the council, who do the work 365 days a year also to keep these beaches clean, but something we can do to sort of raise awareness of that activity, and just the importance of when you visit a beach, if you take one piece of someone else's rubbish home with you as well as your own, that's going to make a difference, and try and keep this as a sort of sustainable activity.
Is this the first time the British High Commissioner is involved in such events in Sierra Leone?
I think we did the
British High Commission, I beg your pardon.
I think we have done a smaller event in previous years, but it's very much, this is a central pillar of UK foreign policy now around global climate change and environments and oceans, and so I think it's fair to say that this year will be our biggest sort of partnership yet.
So, talking about climate change, how do you see the fight against climate change, tackling climate change globally?
That's a big question. As a UK government, it's something which we continue to lobby on to increase awareness of green positive policies, to increase carbon neutral and reduce the use of carbon energy. So it is absolutely one of our key sort of foreign policy priorities and our international development priorities. The importance of climate change to the future livelihoods of people around the world is absolutely huge, and so again we want more activity and more awareness raising.
All right. Sierra Leone's Beach Cleanup 2019, who is funding this event?
So it is really a joint initiative between the European Union and the British High Commission. I'd like to mention at this stage that we have the participation of Shout Climate Change, which is an organization that has helped us also in the past to organize this event and to mobilize volunteers to join us in the action. And then, of course, the National Tourist Board is a very important partner this year as well.
Okay, let me bring in Bashir. Tell us about the planning for this event. What's in place by the Tourist Board? What are you doing?
Yeah, as I told you earlier, we have always been involved in activities and events like this. So in planning for this event, we have consulted most of our stakeholders, including volunteers and the beach establishments like the beach bars, the hotels, casinos. We have also consulted line ministries, departments and agencies like the Environment Protection Agency, the Freetown City Council, Ministry of Lands, Country Planning and Environment, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, and Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs, because the theme for this year Oceans Day celebration is Gender and Oceans. So we see it's necessary for us to have a statement from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs. And as I told you, we have volunteers already that are always responsible for the waste management of the beach. And it will be happening at Lumley, Aberdeen Beach and Levuma Beach. So we are raising awareness currently and we are following up on issues so that we will have a huge mobilization of volunteers tomorrow to turn up.
So what about the resources and materials that will be used for the cleaning?
It is a joint initiative. We have our own responsibilities. Normally we provide some logistics, like we have our tools and equipment. The European Union and the British High Commission help us with some materials also, and they are also going to facilitate some other areas in provision of logistics and other equipment for us to be able to undertake the activities. But when it comes to taking care of the volunteers, it is the responsibility of National Tourism Board. We have to take care of the volunteers. In the area of provision of stipend and refreshment for volunteers, we will be doing that.
Okay. At least, what is the British High Commission's role in all of this? What will you be doing?
So tomorrow we'll be picking up litter from the beach. So we're getting as many of our colleagues at the British High Commission to join us, and we'll be working with our partners in the EU and the National Tourist Board and the Environmental Protection Agency and Fleet Antis Council to clear the beach. As Jamila says, we're also sort of contributing some funding to this to make sure that we all have the equipment to do it safely and efficiently, and we hope to sort of promote and do all we can to make people aware of the activity.
I'll ask Jamila the same question.
So you want to know what the EU will be doing tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's a great mobilization of the European Union staff to start with. This is an opportunity for the EU staff to show its commitment to cleaning the beaches in Sierra Leone. And it will be also an opportunity for our ambassador to make an important statement on the importance of the topic for the European Union.
Okay. Now, like you earlier said, the EU has been organizing beach events globally. How successful has this event been across the countries?
Well, I must say that the visibility that has been given to the actions that we have organized throughout the world has been tremendous. Of course, in terms of the concrete impact on behavior of people, convincing them not to pollute the beaches. This is, of course, a long-term goal, and as you probably know, habits are hard to curb, but we have to continue. It's a global issue, and it's an issue that demands urgent action. And this is also, again, why it's so important to not miss any opportunity to show up and to explain to people how important their beaches are.
So, how many participants are you expecting to have tomorrow?
So I think all in all, including our volunteers, I think we should expect around 300 people on the beaches tomorrow.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I want to know the agenda for the whole event. How is it going to be like?
Yes. The program is set to start around 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay.
And we are anticipating to have statements from different stakeholders, including the British High Commission and the ambassador for EU delegation in Sierra Leone, and as I told you, Minister of Lands, Country Planning and Environment, the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, the Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs, and after the statement, we'll be having the volunteers mobilized to undertake the activities, because normally we distribute them in groups, because we have a long stretch of beach from Atlantic to Family Kingdom. We have to divide the groups because we have a group of around 200 people. We'll divide them in their tools so that we'll distribute them evenly across the beach. And we'll also be going to Levuma Beach also, because Levuma Beach is a very important beach also in the agenda of tourism. So we'll be visiting Levuma Beach also to ensure that we mobilize you to undertake the same activities. At the same vein, we'll be raising awareness about the importance of oceans and also the importance of sustainable waste management and beating the plastic pollution. This is a platform for us to raise awareness and also to teach people to avoid the bad habits of just dumping waste everywhere. It is a symbolic cleaning activity.
Okay, so tell us about the National Tourist Board. What has been happening for you guys?
Yeah, as part of a government's plan, a long-term goal in establishing a thriving economy and a diversified economy, the tourism development has been top on the list of the priority of the new direction and the National Development Plan 2023, the medium-term National Development Plan 2023. So as the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the National Tourist Board are the key players in implementing government policies and strategies in relation to tourism, we have developed a lot of promotional strategies. Sierra Leone has been visible in most of the international conferences and platforms raising Sierra Leone, because we have this, one of the problems Sierra Leone is facing in tourism is the record of Sierra Leone in the source markets. Sierra Leone have this image of Ebola and poverty, so we are trying to clean that mess up. So we have been engaging in aggressive promotional activities, both national and international. As we are speaking currently, we have representatives in UK currently promoting Sierra Leone as a tourism attraction so that we can attract more investors. Secondly, we have been involving in a lot of internal arrangements, because when you talk about tourism, you talk about the development of attractions. We have key attraction areas, ecotourism areas that we have identified, like the Takogama Chimpanzee Sanctuary, the Nobatu River, Banana Island, Tiwai Island, which is one of the pride of Sierra Leone. All these areas, the Wararaman scene in Kabbalah, these areas have been planned. We have a project that we are implementing called the Sustainable Tourism Development Project. It has a lot of objectives and purposes, which include the governance system. We are trying to review the tourism sector governance and policies and laws, because the regulation that is in place right now is outdated. So we are trying to update it, to update the acts that establish the National Tourism Board. And we are also trying to build the capacity of the people that are directly involved in the management of tourism in Sierra Leone, the human resource capacity and the infrastructural capacity also. So we have been doing a lot of things, but we need time. You know, things like this don't happen immediately. Tourism is a long-term benefit. So the foundation has already been set, and we hope to have a successful outcome in a very short coming time.
Okay, continue to stay with me. Let's go in for another news item in the show. Now, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the 34 Military Hospital, as part of their drive to enhance infection prevention and control measures within the health facilities, has launched the alcoholic-based hand rub project. Abdulrahman Kamara put this together.
Yes, I particularly want to appreciate the Ministry of Health. This is one of many things we have been collaborating on. A few weeks ago, we commemorated the World Malaria Day. We have been working together to conduct simulations on response to Ebola epidemic and other infectious diseases, for example. And generally, I think the Ministry of Health has been quite supportive to the Ministry of Defense, particularly the Joint Medical Unit. I really want to appreciate the Ministry of Health and the Chief Medical Officer for this achievement. And we have other wonderful partners. Of course, this was not achieved by Ministry of Health alone. Technical support has been provided by the World Health Organization. And particularly, Hannah Maruta has been here. She is more like a staff now here. Thank you very much for your support. And I hope the WHO representative will also convey our appreciation. We have also achieved a lot and moving towards the Deputy Minister of Defense agenda to see that the President's vision for the health sector is achieved. That is strengthen the health system, develop infrastructure within the health system, get equipment and develop the human resource base. And this is quite in line with the support that we have been receiving from the Deputy Minister of Defense.
The manifesto of this country, which is put together by no other person but the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, after free quality education, we jumped onto developing healthcare in this country. And then I went forward, to talk to my colleague yesterday that the military is just a microcosm of the civil society. And what I meant by that is developing 34 is like developing this country. So you see, looking at, again, the conversation that really went on yesterday, I asked the medical doctor, what is your concept of this development at 34? Then he said, there are 4 issues. I want to do refurbishing, I want to do new buildings. I want to do new human resource. I want to do new specialization. Then in all of this, I think he wrapped up with training. But what I see as lubricant for all of these factors, gentlemen and ladies, is doing this job with this kind of sanitizer. You see, when Ebola came here, we struggled. I was almost attached to the UN to really write SOP that soldiers rely on to do a job that they never trained for. So that happened that time.
Our fight against the dreaded diseases. The notion, and I'll tell you where we are leading, came the Global Health Security Agenda. One of the key components is medical countermeasures working with the military and the police. And I'll tell you this categorically. Sierra Leone is showing the world how to work. We, as the civil unit, working with the military, we are showing the world that it can be done. And this is the example that we are setting here. We can work with the military 100%. We want to thank all of you who made that a possibility, and let us continue to show the world that we can lead in so many areas. And this is one area that in the Global Health Security Agenda, we in Sierra Leone, we are leading. Let us be proud of ourselves. When that happens, in terms of the Global Health Security Agenda, a component is the antimicrobial resistance. Out of that, we saw the need, all of us saw the need that if we cannot prevent infections within our hospitals, then it becomes a death trap for our health workers. No one likes going to a profession, at the end of the day, the profession takes your life.
This is the Star Good Morning Show. You're still watching us live here on Channel 21. Quickly, let's take another insight before I come back to my studio guest. Now, Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, during a stakeholders meeting held in Boloko District, said that the chairman and leader of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, is refusing to accept the result of the 2018 presidential elections. Andrew Bestman has more.
Mohamed Alpha Gassama, a stakeholder in the Putoko district, said the meeting was organized in Putloko to sensitize the people of the district to understand and accept the last result of the National Electoral Commission, so as to forge a common ground where peace and unity between members of the two parties must prevail.
We organized this meeting today in Putloko because, we feel safe with a lot of people there who come as one, who come as family. The problem of Putloko district, it was stopped, it was done, and now come as one so that this district could be peaceful and will focus on development.
Addressing his audience in Putloko district, Sierra Leone Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow disclosed during a stakeholders meeting that the chairman and leader of the main opposition All People's Congress Party, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, has refused to accept results of the 2018 presidential elections, adding that he and his party will not regret it if any action is taken against the former president of the country. Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, however, called on party supporters and members of the opposition party to accept the results in the interest of maintaining the peace and unity of the country.
I want to say one thing. We want to let the country go before. But anybody who will not respect law and order will deal with you according to the law. Whether you're a parliamentarian or whether you're a minister or whether you're a former minister or if you don't respect the law, this government will deal with you according to the law. So then the message that they will get the blabber no they the blabber way there is that APC no one accepted and don't lost election. Then they accepted and don't lost, then they don't serve. When you go all over Africa, all over the world, anybody who don't be former president, if you be elderly statesman, you no go put am on politics. But if you be chairman and leader of a party, we go treat you like chairman and leader of a party, we go then treat you like former president. So that the message that if you want, then they say you're a former president, then no problem, we treat you like former president. But if you behave like leader and chairman of a party, we will treat you like opposition leader. Now that's just the law. Don't get that clear.
Former Minister of Information and Communications under the All People's Congress Party, Dr. Alpha Khan, and the Mayor of the Port Harcourt City, His Worship Alhaji Abubakar Zozo Kamara, intimidated that if the ruling party is ready to establish peace in the district, they should organize a meeting inviting aggrieved members of the two political parties to dialogue and find a common ground where they can resolve their political indifference. He called on members of the government to demonstrate restraint in accommodating the views of the minority that will foster the desired peace leading to development of the country.
This statue they fed so today from 2018 to now, not of Ernest Koroma and Babio Fetu. Now Dr. Samura Kamara na infet, and be also now for big. Local Pasamura. Local Pasamura. Local calling vice presidential candidate, Honorable Cherno Majuba Cherikoko. When we don't call the one and day, Pabio don't sit down. They don't call Pajulde. They don't call Pa Neskuruma. They don't call Samsumana. They don't call Pa Victor Ford. They don't sit down. We not call Samura we lost election. We will hold me the cry for. We not call for Cherikoko. We miss for be vice president for we own APC. Now they want to get the pen pass we. So now we for talk to. Now they for beg. And they get the issue.
Now we don't get the vice president as the past speakers. And if you look today from who don't keep fast, who don't pray today, we ain't supportive for great location because it gets the appetite for can pray with we people, which are ready for it from. But, what are they say? Who begin like you? No, if you like them. If you begin like you see put salad in a plate, they see whole bing bing, you know they go for wait a move.
Andrew Bestman reporting.
Many thanks to you, Andrew Bestman, for putting that report together. It's 9:43 from a studio clock, and this is the Star Good Morning Show. You're watching us live here on Channel 21 and also on our Facebook page at Star TV Live. We're discussing the Sierra Leone Beach Events 2019. I have with me Alicia White, Deputy British High Commissioner, Jamila El Asaidi, Head of Political and Information Sector, European Union in Sierra Leone, and also Bashiru Kuruma, Planning and Development Official, National Tourist Board, Sierra Leone. Now, Alicia, are we expecting to see key personalities on the event during the exercise?
Key personalities from the British High Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be there. The High Commissioner is currently in London at the Investment Summit with His Excellency the President, and we should be seeing quite a big turnout from the British High Commission from all parts of our organisation. So yes, hopefully.
I'll ask the same to Jamila.
Yes, well, other than the presence of our ambassador and myself, as I said before, EU staff will be present and their families, and we hope to make it also a pleasant event.
What's the significance of you being there?
It shows our support and the fact that we believe in what we advocate for, meaning taking better care of our beaches and thinking of future generations when it comes to preserving the beauty of our oceans and our environment in general.
Okay. Now, Bashiru, getting the participants to take part in the exercise, how do you go about that? Who do the selection?
Yeah, we already have around 50 staff that are currently working along the Lomé and Abadi Beach, and we have been engaging volunteers previously through youth groups and environmental organizations that are interested in waste management and environmental activism. So we have to consult those organizations and those volunteers and those youth group. We have records of those groups. We may call them and mobilize them tomorrow so that we'll go and do this thing together.
But do you like engage the community people living around those beach areas?
Exactly. We are working with the councillor and the member of parliament. They are the key players. They bring in some youth organizations. They nominate some of the youth groups so that we can work with them directly. And also the establishment, the beach establishments that are currently operating along the beach areas, like the hotels, the restaurants, the guest houses. We work with them directly, so that, because it is very important that you work with the people that are engaged, that are resided in these areas.
But before now, we've always been having fields in our beaches, and which is not good for our touristic value. You've been part of the tourist board. How much awareness have you bring to the people to know that throwing plastic in our beaches is bad, polluting our beaches is bad?
Yeah, you know, it is challenging. The beach area is the hub that receives everything from the upland. So most of the time we have poor waste management system in Freetown. Most people dump their waste when it rains. So, and the rain is the ocean is a final destination for most of these things. So, and the ocean also have to send this thing out on the shores, and the beach is the recipient of most of the waste. Like in 2-3 hours, you can see another pile of waste on the beach. When you go there, you may think that people are not working, but we are doing it, and we will not get tired, and we are raising awareness. This particular event, this is not the first time it's happening. We did it last year with the European Union, and on that occasion we raised several awareness. We are having our megaphones, and the beach users, we teach them. We even have the dustbins that we are established along the beach fronts. Although the attitude of people...
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Did that yielded any desired results in terms of preserving our beaches?
Yes, exactly. It's yielded a lot of results. In fact, people were like applauding our efforts, because if you consider previously and what is happening currently, there is a vast difference. You now have somehow a serene and beautiful beach as compared to previous time. So like we are working, we are doing it, we are on it every day. Our guys are working. It is challenging because waste management globally is a challenging work. Bringing in the tools, the equipment, like the trucks, to do this thing is very challenging. But we are doing it. We are doing it. We are on it every day.
Okay. But before I come to the other guests, how can you describe our present touristic value? Is it booming? Do we need to put more efforts?
Yeah, Sierra Leone, as it is known as the seductive destination in West Africa, has a huge potential for tourism. We have a very fantastic, beautiful beaches that is not found easily elsewhere in the world. We have a beautiful wildlife and biodiversity. Our weather, our climate is very, very hospitable. Our people are very, very hospitable. So we have all what it takes to have a booming tourism sector. All what is needed now is the infrastructure, because tourists don't come to places that is not organized, that does not have a proper infrastructural capacity that can respond to their needs. So, and as you know, the infrastructural development is going on rapidly. So we are hoping, this is low season now. We have the high season in tourism, which starts in November and ends sometimes in May because of the climate. But we are like building the necessary foundations. In the next coming season, Sierra Leone is hoping to have a very, very much high number of tourists in the country.
But this is the rainy season, and the Freetown City Council is trying its best to avoid flooding. So what are you collaborating with the FCC in terms of flood mitigation?
Exactly. We have always been working with all stakeholders that are involved in waste management. You know, tourism is a multi-dimensional thing. You don't, when you are working in the tourism sector, you don't work alone. You have to work with the transport sector, the security sector, you have to work with electricity, because the tourist needs are diverse. So you don't work alone, you work with different other stakeholders to ensure that things happen. We always work with City Council, we work with Masada, we work with Mr. Clean. These people are the people that we call upon whenever we are having situations. We work with most of these stakeholders.
Okay, let me bring in Jamila. Now, EU and the British High Commission coming together, collaborating with Tourist Board and all to do this exercise in controlling plastic pollution. But one might want to wonder, what's the importance of controlling plastic pollution?
Controlling plastic pollution, as I said before, is really key in terms of avoiding the sea to get polluted, like I mentioned before, the plastic particles getting into the food chain. But also, like we said before, the visibility of clean beach is key. Also in Sierra Leone, if you want to have tourism, you want clean beaches. So I think it's an obvious one, honestly.
Well, now let's talk about the events. Remind us again, when is the date? Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, yes. So Saturday, it's World
at
Oceans
what
Day.
time?
8 a.m.
Is it, which beaches?
Aberdeen, Lumley Beach and Levuma Beach.
Okay, so I want to know again, I'm tempted to ask again, how will you be doing it? The EU, you, Alistair and all?
Will we be doing it? Oh yeah, I'm going to have gloves on, I'm going to have a bag. Absolutely, we'll be picking up litter. We'll be competing to make sure the British High Commission picks up the most litter.
Yeah, let me just give you a picture of how it happened the last time.
Okay.
We have this plastic sackets, and when you go there, you'll be given a hand glove so that you'll be protected. So you'll be having your plastic sackets, you'll be going around picking up the rubbish and dumping it into the plastic sackets. When it gets filled, you take it to the truck, and the truck will take it to the dump site.
Do you think that there is a need for us to recycle this waste?
Yes, recycling is the best waste management response, because plastic waste can only be minimized with recycling, and that is what is lacking currently, and we need that one.
Now, Alistair and Jamila, taking part in a beach cleaning, trying to control plastic pollution, what impact are you trying to create?
Well, the impact we're trying to have is to obviously show to the people who get to know about the event how important it is to, in the first place, avoid littering the beach. So it's really about human behavior and trying to impact that human behavior. And we've said it before, it's difficult to do, but here we are, and this is somehow repeating a message that is so very important, and not only in Sierra Leone, all over the world. So the impact will be advocacy, education, a concrete action. We will be cleaning the beach for about a bit more than 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken, and mobilizing also, as I said before, mobilizing political will and resources to go further in terms of implementing policies, in terms of having the necessary infrastructure.
Okay, what is the expected outcome of this?
So I think you made a very good point. We'll be clearing for 1 or 2 hours. Even as we're clearing, we'll see more rubbish appearing. So it's a 365 days a year job to do this, and we hope as the outcome will be to raise awareness of the people who are using the beaches and rely on the beaches to protect those beaches, and to make sure that if they see this kind of activity, to understand the impact of dropping litter, to understand the impact of plastics in the ocean. And we know it's a long, slow and ambitious change, but it's a critical one, and it's a global issue. So watch our social media channels. So we as the British High Commission will be publicising that we're doing this, social media channels. You'll see other things from the UK Foreign Office and the European Union and the government of Sierra Leone sort of publicising the importance of this event. So I think it's for me, the outcome is raised awareness. We don't think we're going to solve the problem in 2 hours of beach cleaning, but hopefully we can do something for the future.
And that brings me to you again. Now, like Alistair just said, you might clean the beach tomorrow, and the next minute, people will go there to litter filth again, throw plastic bottles. Don't you think there need to be a regulation? There need to be a law so that people, when anybody found wanting, will face the book?
Sure, we have been advocating for that, for the review of the law. There is a law, but the penalties are very, very small because of the law has taken a long time. So we have been reviewing for us to have a sustainable waste management policy that will deter some of these things. And it is a process, it is ongoing. We are hopeful that it will happen.
How do we as Sierra Leoneans, how do we change this perception of throwing that wherever, whenever? Probably someone might just drink a sachet of water and the next minute we just throw it away. It's a habit. Most of us are guilty of that. How do we change that perception?
I think it is a constant education and awareness raising, because people, as you said, have a culture of doing these things like that, and it is not in our culture for us to be responsible for our environment. So like, we have to start building the mindset of people for them to change their attitude, their behaviors, and it is going to be a long-term process. It will not happen. It is not an event. It is going to be a long-time process. It is going to be a serious engagement of the public, as we have started doing now. Because tomorrow is going to be just a symbolic thing, but the awareness raising is going to be the thing that will be going on continuously. Probably we will be engaging this media also in subsequent times, so that we'll be able to engage the wider public, because it is a big issue. People don't have the consciousness of being responsible for their environment. So we need to build that consciousness in their mind, and that can only happen through education. It can only happen through constant awareness raising, and we are calling on all stakeholders involved for them to continue to do their work properly, because it is not a one person or one institution thing. It is a diverse thing. It is a multi-sectoral thing. So we're calling on different sectors for them to also be involved, like the EPA, the City Council, Ministry of Lands, National Tourism Board, and even the media.
Alright, we're rounding up now. Let me bring in Jamila again. What would be your message to Sierra Leoneans before we go?
My message to Sierra Leoneans would be that when I have the pleasure of being on your beaches, on the beaches that are clean, I'm like, this is fantastic. I don't know if you find any beaches like that in other parts of Africa, but please keep them clean so that you can keep enjoying them for yourselves as well.
But how can you describe the state of a beach right now, the present state of our beaches?
Well, like our colleague from the National Tourist Board has said, you can find the beach rather more or less clean, and then the next day the trash is there again. So something more, I would say something more structural needs to happen probably in Sierra Leone for the problem to be solved. As you rightly said, policies, maybe more stringent fines. I mean, one of my previous postings was in Rwanda, and as you know, in Rwanda you cannot even enter the country with a plastic bag. You have to throw it away in the airport. You're not allowed into the country. Now, I'm not saying we will go to this extreme policy from one day to the other, but this would probably be something to think of. How can we avoid plastic waste in the country?
Okay, thank you so very much. She is Jamila M. Asadi, Head of Political and Information Sector, European Union in Sierra Leone. The Deputy British High Commissioner, Alistair White. What will be your closing message?
UK's message is, for me, very much in my time here, having stood on River Number 2 beach, that these are some of the most incredible beaches I've ever seen. And the tourism potential is enormous, and over the next few years, you know, we really hope, I will really be an advocate for you in London to say this is a fantastic place to come. And a message from the beach clean-up tomorrow, you know, it's a behavioural change. You know, we've seen some change in the UK, not always about legislation. It's about making it an unacceptable thing to do, to drop litter, to make it, you know, to challenge each other, and to always make sure that we we take our rubbish home with us, and to make sure that there are facilities there to deal with waste. And the message also is, reduce our single-use plastic. So recycling is one option, but really the best one is just reduce our use of single-use plastics, reuse them, and then recycle them. And so I think there are my message. Let's clean up after ourselves. Sometimes when we use our beaches, clean up after other people too. Do a little bit of civic duty. And that's what I try to do. Take another bag of rubbish home with me from the beach, and just realise quite what an amazing asset these beaches in Sierra Leone really are.
All right, thank you so very much. He's the Deputy British High Commissioner, Alistair White. Now, finally, let me go to Bashiru Kuruma from the National Tourist Board. How do you feel foreigners telling us beaches need to be clean?
Yeah, it's not being a foreigner, it's a global response. The celebration tomorrow.
I'm not talking about the celebration tomorrow. Yeah. I'm talking about me and you, we are Sierra Leoneans.
Yeah.
We have different nationalities telling us on how to clean the beaches.
As I told you earlier, it is a collective responsibility. We are doing it, they are doing it as their corporate social responsibility, and we are also being part of the process. We have been doing it, they are just celebrating tomorrow to increase the awareness, to increase the mindset of people to be responsive, so that they will be able to take care of their environment. We have been doing it as a government, we have been doing it as citizens. It is just challenging because people are very much into the habit of not being responsive to the environment.
Remind viewers again the dates, the time, and...
Yeah, tomorrow the 8th of June will be at National Tourism Board around 8 o'clock in the morning. So we are calling on all the stakeholders we have invited and all the volunteers. They should be there tomorrow so that they can help us promote this particular sustainable waste management tomorrow.
All right, thank you so very much. He is Bashiru Kuruma, Planning and Development Officer, National Tourist Board, Sierra Leone. Well, this is how we end the show for this week. It's been an awesome time with you guys. To join another presenter on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Leonela Jawala. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. I'll leave you with our inspirational quote. It's actually on environment. It's from Margaret Mead. She says, we won't have a society if we destroy our environment.